You are welcome to this course unit entitled Materials for Teaching and Learning, an exciting unit that highlights how you can best conduct lessons with materials to enhance your teaching and learning. First of all, what do we mean by learning materials? Anything the teacher employs to make the instructional process more active, more interesting, more interactive, more scientifically based. That anything you use is an instructional material. Instructional materials appeal to more than one sense. So instructional materials can appeal to seeing, can appeal to hearing, to touching, to smelling, to tasting. Learning materials can also be audio, visual, and as we shall see, this visual, there is an aspect of projected visual and unprojected visual. But also, as we shall see, there are learning materials that are a combination of audio and visual in nature. Having had that introduction and we have a feel what learning materials are, allow me further say this statement. You as a teacher may use these materials to achieve the learning objectives and to facilitate the learning process. Therefore, it is important for you to keep in mind the learning objectives of the lesson, the process of learning, and that should influence which materials you are going to use. Broadly, the term may also refer, that is the learning materials, to a spectrum of educational materials, and these may include textbooks, multimedia components, so all that can qualify to be learning materials. Now, the best learning materials should be aligned with all the other elements that we are going to see. What are the other elements? The learning materials you are using should align with the learning objectives, the assessments, and activities that you are to carry out. And these learning materials should be tailor-made to fit the content, should be suitable for the learners and also the teacher. Now, let us classify learning materials. Learning materials can be audio, visual, or audiovisual. Let's start with audio media. Audio media is related to the auditory sense. What does this include? The telephone, the radio, record players, storytelling, podcasts, all that are audio. Have a look at this picture. Do you see all these audio types? All these audio types in the picture? Furthermore, have a look at this division. You notice compact discs. You remember the compact discs? The compact discs, you remember them? The cassette audio tapes. You remember the cassette audio tapes we used to use? Then the microchip, all that can fit within the, examples, the flash and all those, and phonographs. They are no longer in use. Now, let's progress to the what we call the materials that involve sight, and that is what we call the as you see here, the visual media. The visual media. What does this involve? The chalkboard. Chalkboards, whiteboards, projected aids, flip charts, or the charts that you teachers love very much. It could include real objects. All that falls under the visual media. In other words, it's using the sense of the eyes. Now, I would like to highlight here that we have what we call projected and non-projected media. Projected and non-projected. I'll start with the non-projected. Non-projected means the blackboard, the charts, the atlas, the flashcards you may have, the diagrams, the posters, the models. All that is non-projected. In other words, you don't project it from a system. It is there hanging on the wall or hanging on the ceiling. Now then we have the projected aids. What are the projected aids? Here I'll use a diagram to summarize the types of projected aids. Do you see in this diagram? We have here a projector. We have here what is called the overhead projection. Then we have slides. Light is shed in and pupils peep through and see. Then you have film strips. All these are types of projected visuals. Therefore, what have we said? The non-projected visuals are the blackboard, the flanographs, the flashcards, the posters, photographs you pin, charts you pin, specimens you put up in a corner, models. This teacher here has constructed the flannel board. You see the flannel board? It can stick pieces of items on that. Then we have the audiovisual media. This is a combination of both the auditory and the sight. An example of this is the television or educational videos. The children can hear the sound, but at the same time they can see. Now, why use materials? Why use materials for teaching and learning? The main reason is to support the learning process. It makes lessons interesting. It makes learning easier, and it enables the teacher to easily express the concepts that he is teaching. Talking about supporting learning, I would like to highlight the following. A child gets new insights. A child gets new opportunities. A child gets to explore the knowledge independently, as well as provide repetition. Why are we saying this? When children see, when children hear, that they get an insight. Oh, that is what is meant by snow. They're exploring new opportunities. When the children see or hear, it is a form of repetition that reinforces learning. Another very important reason why learning materials are important is the structuring of the lesson. The lesson within a chart you may have. Today we are going to see types of birds, types of beaks, types of feet. You see, you have structured your lesson. Also, you can summarize your lesson using a video or a poster. Are you seeing the importance of materials? Your lesson flows. The children can see from this, the teacher is going to this. Another importance of material in learning is differentiation. We need to realize that we all have different learning styles and capacities. Therefore, our teaching should be differentiated to cater for the different learners. I would like to further provide the rationale, a justification of using learning materials. According to these two gentlemen, Onasanya and Adebija, in 2015, they noted learners, especially of primary school, are acutely aware of their senses, which they use continually to acquire new skills and ideas. So, the learners in primary school, they are sensitive to the senses. Therefore, we need to use the different senses to impact on learning. Learning materials help to develop a continuity of thought in learning. What do we say, continuity of thought in learning? When you use pictures, when you use films, you are extending the learning. That yes, there was learning in class, but they missed out a concept. But when they see a picture, there is extended learning. At times, in Uganda, we give a lot of notes, and the children do not make meaning out of these many words. But when they see, when they hear, we reduce on the meaningless words which the children cannot respond or interpret. It has been proven that the use of learning materials makes learning permanent. Makes learning permanent. Now, because of learning materials, there is growth of the vocabulary. So you have a corner there of new words. There is growth and development of vocabulary. Have you noticed the use of films, of audio, any other method arouses and stimulates interest and maintains it? So that is why you should use learning materials. And also, it is important to note that learning materials provide experiences that are not easily secured. If you are talking about a wedding from the Acholi land, if you have a picture, it serves a greater purpose because the children may not be having an opportunity to go for such a wedding. Yes, use of learning materials makes learning participatory and scientifically based, and finally, it ensures equal access to education by all individuals. In our next lesson, I'll further dive into types of instructional